The fall of the Roman Empire remains one of history's most debated and complex events, a protracted decline spanning centuries, rather than a single catastrophic moment. And attributing its collapse to a single cause is a simplification that overlooks a confluence of interconnected factors. For centuries, Rome dominated the Mediterranean world, its power built upon formidable military strength, sophisticated legal systems, intricate infrastructure, and a thriving economy. Yet even empires founded on such pillars are susceptible to internal weaknesses and external pressures. The traditional narrative, popularized in Edward Gibbon's The History of the Decline and Fall of the Roman Empire, often focuses on moral decay, a perceived loss of civic virtue, rampant hedonism, and a weakening of traditional Roman values as contributing factors. But this account is increasingly seen as subjective and reliant on biased sources. However, the idea of moral decay isn't entirely dismissible. The increasing prevalence of luxury and the growing gap between the wealthy elite and the impoverished masses undoubtedly contributed to social unrest and a sense of societal fragmentation. Political instability became a defining feature of the late Roman Empire, marked by frequent power struggles, civil wars, and a rapid turnover of emperors, often installed and removed by the military, leading to a lack of long-term vision and effective governance. The crisis of the 3rd century, at 235–284, witnessed a period of intense political chaos, with numerous emperors rising and falling, often through military coups, severely disrupting trade, agriculture, and the overall functioning of the empire. The sheer size of the Roman Empire presented significant administrative challenges. Effectively governing such a vast territory, collecting taxes, and maintaining communication across long distances proved increasingly difficult, especially with limited technology. The division of the empire into western and eastern halves by Emperor Diocletian in 285 AD, while initially intended to improve administration, ultimately exacerbated the existing weaknesses and led to divergent paths for the two halves. The Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, proved more resilient and continued to thrive for another 1,000 years, benefiting from a stronger economy, more effective administration, and a strategic location. The Western Roman Empire, however, faced more severe economic challenges, including declining agricultural productivity, inflation, and a shrinking tax base, hindering its ability to maintain a strong military and infrastructure. Climate change, specifically a period of cooling temperatures and altered rainfall patterns, likely played a significant role in agricultural decline, reducing crop yields and exacerbating economic hardship, though the extent of its impact is still debated. The rise of barbarian tribes along the empire's borders posed a growing military threat, and while Rome had successfully dealt with barbarian incursions in the past, the scale and frequency of these attacks increased in the late Roman Empire. The Huns, a nomadic group originating from Central Asia, exerted pressure on various tribes, pushing them westward and into Roman territory, initiating a chain reaction of migrations and conflict. The Visigoths, Ostrogoths, Vandals, Franks, and other tribes migrated into Roman territory, often seeking refuge from the Huns or opportunities for land and resources, leading to conflicts with Roman authorities. The Battle of Adrianople in 378 AD, where the Visigoths decisively defeated the Roman army, marked a turning point, demonstrating the vulnerability of the Roman military and paving the way for further barbarian incursions. The Roman army, while still formidable, faced challenges, including declining recruitment, a reliance on barbarian mercenaries, and logistical difficulties in defending vast borders. The increasing reliance on barbarian mercenaries, while providing manpower, also introduced issues of loyalty and discipline, as these mercenaries often had their own agendas and were not fully committed to defending the empire. The sack of Rome by the Visigoths in 410 AD was a deeply symbolic event, shocking the Roman world and demonstrating the empire's vulnerability, though it did not immediately lead to the empire's collapse. The Vandals subsequently established a kingdom in North Africa, disrupting Roman trade routes and cutting off a vital source of grain supply, further weakening the Western Roman Empire. The deposition of Romulus Augustulus, the last Roman emperor in the West, in 476 AD, is often considered the traditional date for the fall of the Western Roman Empire. But this was a gradual process rather than a sudden event. The decline of the Western Roman Empire was a complex interplay of internal weaknesses and external pressures, with factors such as political instability, economic decline, climate change, and barbarian invasions, all contributing to its eventual collapse. The Eastern Roman Empire, with its stronger economy, more effective administration, and strategic location, continued to thrive for another 1,000 years, preserving Roman traditions and culture. The legacy of Rome, however, continued to exert a profound influence on Western civilization, shaping its legal systems, language, architecture, and political thought. The Roman legal system, with its emphasis on codified laws and principles of justice, formed the foundation of many modern legal systems. The Romance languages, Italian, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and Romanian, evolved from Latin, the language of ancient Rome. Roman architecture, with its innovative use of concrete, arches, and domes, continues to inspire architects today. The concept of a republic, with its emphasis on representative government and civic participation, originated in ancient Rome and continues to influence political systems around the world. Recent scholarship emphasizes the importance of disease outbreaks, such as the Antonine Plague and the Plague of Cyprian, in weakening the Roman population and economy, contributing to the empire's vulnerability. The Plague of Cyprian, in particular, ravaged the Roman Empire in the mid-3rd century, causing widespread death and disrupting economic activity. Lead poisoning, from the widespread use of lead in aqueducts and cookware, has been proposed as a contributing factor to the decline of the Roman population and the mental instability of some emperors, though this theory remains debated. The increasing adoption of Christianity within the Roman Empire, while initially facing persecution, eventually became the state religion, leading to changes in social values and the decline of traditional Roman religious practices, a cultural shift with complex consequences. The focus on spiritual matters and the emphasis on pacifism within Christianity may have contributed to a decline in military enthusiasm and civic participation among some Romans. The rise of regional power centers and the decline of centralized authority further fragmented the Western Roman Empire, making it more vulnerable to barbarian incursions. The breakdown of trade networks and the decline of urban centers further weakened the Western Roman Empire's economy, making it more difficult to sustain a strong military and infrastructure. The gradual loss of technological expertise and the decline of innovation further weakened the Western Roman Empire's ability to adapt to changing circumstances and defend itself against barbarian incursions. In conclusion, the fall of the Roman Empire was a multifaceted process, driven by a complex interplay of internal weaknesses and external pressures. defying simple explanations and highlighting the fragility of even the most powerful empire.